Water. It is the lifeblood of our planet, essential for all living things. We drink it, grow our food with it, and rely on it for countless industrial processes. Yet, despite its critical importance, we are facing a global water crisis. This is not a problem of the future. It is a challenge we are facing right now. The world's water resources are increasingly strained, and the consequences are dire. From the arid landscapes of the American Southwest to the bustling cities of Asia, water scarcity is a growing reality. Millions of people lack access to clean, safe drinking water, and the situation is only projected to worsen in the coming decades. The statistics are alarming. The United Nations estimates that by 2025, nearly 2/3 of the world's population could be living under water-stressed conditions. This is not merely a crisis of quantity, but also one of quality. Pollution from industrial discharge, agricultural runoff, and untreated sewage is contaminating our rivers, lakes, and aquifers. This endangers human health, disrupts ecosystems, and exacerbates water scarcity. The urgency of this situation cannot be overstated. We must act now to conserve this precious resource and ensure access to clean water for all. The future of humanity depends on it. One of the most significant drivers of water scarcity is the relentless growth of the human population. As the global population continues to climb, so too does the demand for water. The world's population has more than doubled since 1960, while water withdrawals have tripled. This trend is unsustainable. Nowhere is this more evident than in major urban centers. Take, for example, São Paulo, Brazil. Home to over 21 million people, São Paulo has experienced severe water shortages in recent years. In 2015, São Paulo faced its worst water crisis in history. Rationing was imposed, schools were forced to close, and hospitals struggled to function. The crisis in São Paulo serves as a stark reminder of the challenges facing many megacities around the world. Climate change is exacerbating water scarcity worldwide. Rising global temperatures lead to increased evaporation rates, reducing the amount of water available in rivers, lakes, and reservoirs. Changes in precipitation patterns are also disrupting water availability, leading to more frequent and severe droughts in some regions and intense flooding in others. The impacts of climate change on water resources are already being felt globally. In the American West, prolonged droughts have fueled devastating wildfires, depleted reservoirs, and strained agricultural production. The Colorado River, a lifeline for millions of people, has seen its flow dwindle dramatically, raising concerns about the long-term viability of this vital water source. In other parts of the world, rising sea levels threaten to contaminate freshwater aquifers, jeopardizing the water supplies of coastal communities. The small island nation of Kiribati in the Pacific Ocean is facing an existential threat as rising seas inundate its freshwater sources, making the islands uninhabitable. Section 4. Pollution, poisoning our most precious resource. Water pollution is another major contributor to water scarcity. Industrial discharge, agricultural runoff, and untreated sewage are contaminating our waterways at an alarming rate, rendering vast quantities of water unfit for human use. Industrial activities release a cocktail of toxic chemicals into rivers and lakes, poisoning aquatic life and contaminating drinking water sources. In many developing countries, inadequate regulations and enforcement allow factories to discharge untreated wastewater directly into the environment, with devastating consequences for human health and ecosystems. Agriculture, while essential for feeding the world's growing population, is a major polluter of water resources. Fertilizers and pesticides used in agriculture run off into rivers and lakes, causing excessive algae growth that depletes oxygen and suffocates fish. This process, known as eutrophication, creates dead zones in water bodies, rendering them unable to support life. Section 5. Feeding the future. The Water-Food Nexus. Agriculture is by far the largest consumer of fresh water globally, accounting for approximately 70% of all water withdrawals. As the global population continues to grow, so too will the demand for food, putting increasing pressure on water resources. Meeting the world's growing food needs, while conserving water resources is one of the most pressing challenges of our time. Traditional irrigation methods, often inefficient and wasteful, need to be replaced with more sustainable practices that minimize water use while maximizing yields. One promising approach is precision irrigation, which utilizes advanced sensors and data analytics to deliver water directly to the roots of plants, minimizing evaporation and runoff. Another solution is to shift to less water-intensive crops and promote dietary changes that reduce the overall water footprint of food production. For example, producing 1 kilogram of beef requires significantly more water than producing the same amount of plant-based proteins, such as lentils or beans. By promoting more sustainable diets that prioritize plant-based foods, we can reduce the strain on water resources while improving global food security. In conclusion, the challenges of water scarcity, climate change, and pollution are immense, but not insurmountable. By adopting sustainable practices, investing in technology, and fostering global cooperation, we can secure a future where water is abundant and accessible for all. Together, we can turn the tide and ensure that our most precious resource is preserved for generations to come. Imagine a world where every drop of water is used wisely, where communities thrive alongside rivers and lakes, and where the next generation inherits a planet brimming with life and possibility. The journey will not be easy, but it begins with each one of us making conscious choices, advocating for smarter policies, and supporting innovations that protect our water. The power to create a sustainable water future is in our hands. Let us rise to the challenge and make waves of change, ensuring that water scarcity becomes a story of the past. Together we can turn the tide, one drop at a time. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's spread the message and work together for a better tomorrow.